All right, people, big news coming out of South Carolina as the Gamecocks have landed their second transfer of the offseason in junior college center Sakima Walker. In this video, we're going to break down who Sakima Walker is, her journey to South Carolina, and what she can bring to this team. So let's start off with who is Sakima Walker. Sakima Walker is a 6'5" center from Columbus, Ohio. She is a middle child of 4 brothers, and her dad actually played in the NBA and won a championship with the 2022 Lakers. So for sure, she is from a athletic family. And so basketball really is in her veins. In high school, she was a McDonald's All-American, a 4-star recruit. She was ranked by ESPN as the number 63rd ranked female player and the number 7th ranked post player in the 2020 recruiting rankings. That was just a year where some of the top women's basketball players from all over the country was all in it together. It was kind of wild. You had Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, Caitlin Clark, Camila Cardoso, Diamond Johnson, Haley Van Lith, Tahina Powpow. Like you had a lot, Aaliyah Edwards, a lot of really awesome players who was in the 2020 recruiting class. So yes, she was a 63rd ranked female player, but there was a lot of amazing players over her. For college, she decided to go to Rutgers and play for C. Vivian Stringer, but she really did struggle to find her footing. She averaged only 3 points a game as a freshman and around 5 points a game as a sophomore, not playing that many minutes. And after experiencing mental health issues that made her academically ineligible midway through the 2021-2022 season, Walker left Rutgers, and she eventually decided to go and transfer to a JUCO college, Northwest Florida State College. She ended up posting a reflection message on Instagram talking a little bit about her experience. Here's what she said. She said, "There are so many words that I could use to describe how I'm feeling right now, but the feeling that outweighs them all is the feeling of euphoria. To say I'm simply happy would be an understatement. Not a lot of people know my story or how I got here, so I'll just say this. I was in one of the darkest places of my life pretty much all last year, battling depression and so many other things leading up to me becoming ineligible to finish out the rest of my season at Rutgers. I dug myself into a very deep hole that I couldn't get myself out of. I fell out of love with the game. I didn't know who I was. I lost myself. Didn't believe in myself. Doubted myself. I didn't want to be here. I didn't have the grades to transfer, nor did I have the grades to stay. I didn't know what my next move would be. I thought it was the end for me, and I'm sure plenty of others thought the same thing. However, I found Northwest. My second chance, my second home, my revival. The people closest to me could tell you that initially I dreaded coming here. Not here specifically, but going JUCO. I felt that it was a step backwards and that I would never be back playing Power 5. But as time passed and as I grew to accept my situation and to accept my new home, my new family with open arms, and to let my guard down and to allow myself to see what was in store for me, Sakima Love Walker, man, it changed my life. Northwest changed my life, maybe even saved me. So now I view my situation as being a part of the plan I'm adding to my story. Hashtag her story, hashtag to be continued. So you just heard it straight from Sakima Walker. She battled a lot of serious stuff at Rutgers, and I'm just so happy she was able to go to Northwest Florida and just get back to being herself and also thriving. At Northwest Florida, Walker on the basketball court really did thrive. She averaged 16.6 points a game, 8.1 rebounds, and almost 2 blocks a game, leading the team to a NJCAA national championship earlier this year. With her talent on display, yes, at the JUCO college arena, but still, South Carolina saw an opportunity to bring her on to the team for her next 2 years of eligibility. All right, so what does this mean for South Carolina? For South Carolina, they lost a lot of players. They just lost 7 players, either players who have fully exhausted their eligibility or they declared for the WNBA draft. South Carolina needed fresh talent, and Sakima Walker is a great addition to that team. And while she will not start over 6'7" Camila Cardoso, she brings a lot of potential off the bench. Her experience and her skills in the paint will add a little bit of depth to the Gamecocks front court and also make their dominance in the post consistent. So nothing should fall off that much when it comes to Dawn Staley going to the bench. Also, she kind of has a 3 a little bit. So, like, that's pretty exciting. So it can stretch the floor a little bit more because, again, three-point shooting was something that the Gamecocks struggled with this season. Now, for those folks who are saying, oh, this is so great, they got Sakima Walker. Sakima Walker is no Anissa Morrow, which the Gamecocks just lost. Spoiler alert, she's going to LSU. If you didn't watch that video, I will link it at the end of the video. So she's not Morrow, but she's a good asset. So far, Dawn has only recruited 2 transfers this offseason. She got guard Tina Powell, who's a great 3-point shooter and would be a great shooting guard or maybe even point guard at times for this team. Also, you have Sakima Walker. They do have a couple more scholarship spots available. I think right now they're at 12 spots taken, and they have up to 15. They can go up to 15. They don't have to use all of the 15, but it's not too late for them to grab somebody else, to grab some more players, though most of the top transfer players are already called for. So Sakima Walker is not the biggest of deals this offseason, but this is, I think, a great move for her personally in her sort of mental health journey and sort of getting back to the Power 5 level where she was before, at a better mental state. So I'm very happy for her. For the South Carolina Gamecocks, I think this just gives them a little bit more depth because, again, they lost so many players to the WNBA draft that you just need some more bench players to come in and give a little bit of production. And I think Sakima will be able to do that. Dawn is an amazing coach. She has a great coaching staff. So I think they'll be able to coach Sakima up and to have her be a dominant player off the bench. Yes, of course, she won't be, as good as other starters that play for other teams, but she's going to give great minutes, and possibly it may be interesting to see if there could be some sort of time where Camila Cardoso and Sakima Walker plays at the same time. It would be pretty interesting. This past season, there was a lot of times where Camila Cardoso and Aaliyah Boston was in at the same time, and it was just like the trees. You're competing against the trees. And it would be kind of fun if Sakima was able to do the same thing. Yeah, this is good. This is news, but not the biggest of newses. News is not even a word, but whatever. And I just can't wait to see what Sakima Walker can bring to the court, because we know that she was a good high school player, and she didn't do much at Rutgers, but again, as she mentioned, she was battling some mental health issues, and at JUCO she dominated. But again, that's JUCO, so I'm really interested to see how she plays at South Carolina, and happy that she's got this opportunity. And I just want to say that all of this transfer portal buzz is so good for the visibility of the sport. When players are going to top schools, whether they're a top player or not, it's getting media coverage. And while, of course, we want more media coverage, this is just great exposure that can just continue to create more fans, because when you see a lot of visibility, you may want to try it out and be like, oh, let me watch it. So this exposure is awesome. And I think just as the year goes on, into next year and the following year, women's basketball, especially college women's basketball, is going to be where it's at. And as a fan, like, I am just so excited. This is like this is the most coverage I've ever seen. And I've been a fan, I don't know, for like, at this point, like 20 years. And so it's just really awesome to see the coverage of players like Sakima Walker, where in the past, nobody would have cared because she's a JUCO player. But the coverage it's getting, I just think it's great. So let me know, guys. All right, so that is the video. Thanks so much for watching. Do you think that Walker will be a good fit for South Carolina? How do you think her role, what do you think her role will be? Also, how do you think Dawn Staley and her assistant coaches will be able to coach her up to kind of live to the moment of South Carolina basketball? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button. It takes like a second of your time and it really helps me out. And also hit the subscribe button if you want more coverage of women's college basketball, the WNBA, or just women's basketball in general. I am your girl, and I will try my best to give you news as quickly as possible. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And until next time, bye.